Hi, welcome to this quick video. In this quick video, I'm actually going to do some cyclic voltammetry. I have the word demo here, so we're just going to basically jump straight into it, but then I'm going to come back and explain exactly what it is we did do. So don't think that I'm just going to, but I will do the demo to start with. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to take 5 millimolar ferricyanide. I'm going to put it onto a 501 screen printed electrode. So let me do that. I will close that up. I'll put the 50 microliters of 5 millimolar ferricyanide on there. I will go back through all of this so that you can kind of get a definite sense of this CVD. This is just to help me find the data later on, at which point now I can go continue. So I will run through the parameters that I'm using. So you'll see some screenshots coming up in a minute. 600 millivolts starting, minus 200 millivolts end. 100 millivolts, so quite fast scan rate, millivolts per second, that is. Repeats of three cycles, and a current range of 100 microamps, which is probably a little bit over the top. That said, let me jump into it. So it's going to start doing the cyclic voltammetry at the moment. So I get a kind of live update on my phone. The phone is basically showing me time and current, but it will display as a voltammetry versus current when it actually gets uploaded. So we get the kind of three CVs. So this is obviously the SenseItAll Potentiostat. This is the 501 carbon electrode. This is 50 microliters of 5 millimolar, sorry, it's a bit blurry, 5 millimolar potassium ferricyanide. As I say, 50 microliters on there. We're doing 3 CVs now at quite a fast scan rate, 100 millivolts per second. And then the data will upload, and I will sort of go through in more detail as to actually how to analyze it. Because what I want to do is actually turn the CV into a concentration. I think that so many, really, when electroanalytical science is often about, especially kind of electroanalytical science that we do at Zimmer and Peacock, it's actually about converting peak height into current. So anyway, as that says, it's starting to upload. What I want to do is just share my screen with you for a second, because there's something called Djuli. So Djuli is a online database. Every time the SenseItAll Potentiostat does an experiment, the data goes up to the cloud. So it says on my phone now, it says uploads complete. And if I just do a quick refresh here, then it will jump something up called CVDIA. It's just a name that I kind of gave it. And now I'm going to quickly crunch the data. So let me, what I'll do now is I'll just go to tools, properties. I'm just going to turn off some of these. Let me just turn off CV 1 and 2. Just want to have a quick look at that. Right. So there. So I've only got the third CV at this point. Now what I'm going to do is start processing this data. So what's unique about the SenseItAll system is we've got the Potentiostat, we've got the app. The app is a conduit where it controls the Potentiostat and it sends the data to the cloud. Now I've got the data in the cloud, I can use a Djuli system, or I can rather use the Djuli system. And we've really got a good data pipe in the Djuli system. So I'll just turn this off for a second, and I'll turn this off. And I will, first thing I'm going to do is crop the data. So I'm going to just put this at 498, so 498 millivolts. I'll put this at minus 200. I'm just going to view it just to see what it looks like. And then I will go forward. So yeah, so now I've cropped out some of the data, and I'm kind of left with this. Now what I want to do when I say this is basically this part of the CV. Because at ZB, what we're really interested in is actually processing data so that it becomes information. Too many potentiostats just want to give you electrochemical data, but we want to give you concentration. All right, so tools, that was the crop. Now what I want to do is I just want to flip it in the y-axis. So that's what I will do here. I'm going to do it bit by bit just so you can kind of see it. So now I've flipped it into the y-axis. Now what I'm going to do is give it a baseline. So I'm going to do a baseline correction. I'm going to use something called iterative polynomial, quite a powerful algorithm. You'll see me do this quite a lot in a lot of our videos. See, this is really cool, see, because we've gone from like cyclic voltammetry, which has a kind of, you know, a very distinct shape now, to something that's kind of very peak-like. Now what I'm going to do is I can just hover my mouse here. I can see that that peak is approximately at about 10 millivolts. So just I'll just show you the next part of the process. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the peak height, and I'm going to find it at it was at 10 millivolts, but if I put 0 in here and a window of 100, have a quick look what that does. So it'll basically seek for the peak height, and then it's found the peak height here. So now what I'm going to do is turn the peak height actually into a concentration. So that peak height, just bear me for a second. So now I'm going to pretend that I've done a proper calibration. I've done a sort of series of experiments at different concentrations, so I know what my sensitivity is. So I'm going to put my sensitivity as 1. I know what my intercept is. I'll put my intercept at 0. I'll close that down for a second and have a quick look what that has done. I know what I need to do. I just need to select one more thing, which is show the extracted values, which I will do. And here come the extracted values. So now it's gone from a cyclic voltammogram. I've cropped the data. I've reflected the data around the x-axis. I found the, or rather I did a baseline correction. I found the peak height. I then gave the peak height a calibration factor. So we've actually gone to millimoles. And this is the powerful thing about the ZP SenseItAll system, that it will actually not just finish with cyclic voltammetry, you can actually turn it back into concentration. And as I said, this is a sort of, I know this is 5 millimolar. I can play around with the calibration and get, rather than 5.2 millimolar or 5.167 we've got written here, we can make that 5 millimolar by just, let's say, playing with those parameters. I want to just do a quick summary on all of that. So we took the SenseItAll Potentiostat, we put the 501 carbon electrode in there. I used a 5 millimolar ZP ferricyanide solution. I recorded 3 CVs, but I actually only kept the third one. So you saw me do that. So I deleted, by the way, I can get them back again. There's no big issue. They're not permanently deleted, but I just used what I call CV3. I then cropped CV3 by saying, oh, look, 498 to minus 200, only look in those potential window, which is what it then did. I then flipped essentially I had a reduction curve for the reduction of ferricyanide to ferrocyanide, but I just flipped it because then it's sometimes easier to do analysis. A lot of algorithms are kind of expecting your signal to kind of be positive. So I made, the magnitude was minus 12, so I made the minus 12 microamps was about the peak height here, but I just made it a positive by flipping around the y-axis. I then did a baseline correction, and it really turns that then from a sort of a voltammetry wave into more like a peak. And then I knew that the peak was about 11 millivolts. So I made I centered the analysis at 0 millivolts, gave it a broad window, so then it sort of finds the peak height. And then I gave the whoops-a-daisy, I gave it the sensitivity of 1.1 and an offset of 0, so I could go from peak height to actual concentration. We got to about 5. I think in my example it was 5.167. But it also shows the repeatability of this system. That was a previous experiment that I've done. The settings were started 600 millivolts. The turning potential was minus 200 millivolts. The scan rate was 100 millivolts per second. I did 3 scans. We did it quite fast. We did it quite fast at 100 millivolts per second, and the current range was 100 microamps. Though I could probably have put that down to about 10 and probably also been alright. And as you saw, the data automatically went to the cloud, and then I was able to do all that analysis in the cloud. And that's something quite powerful about this system, that it was easy to set up. It was easy to set the experiment on my phone. But then when I wanted to do the sort of deeper dive into the analysis, I could do that up in the cloud, and my data's all saved up there, and I can automate that process. If you do have any questions regarding this, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Okay, thanks very much.